Hello, and this is King here with another Rage Shadow Legends video, and I'm going to show you a really nice, easy Iron Twins team. It's a Revive on Death style team. So Revive on Death is awesome because it'll cleanse that Iron stack ability because they die, and then they come back. So that makes it pretty cool. It's obviously because when you get to stage 15 and whatnot, resistance and accuracy requirements are insane. So I highly recommend bringing an increased accuracy champion. Unfortunately, the only one I've got built properly is my Lady Kimmy. I don't have a Stagna built. Great option there. Um, of course, any increased accuracy champion would be great. But yeah, that's who I've got. I got Ultimate Death Knight in there. Free champion, good shield, good heals. Godseeker Neri, her passive is brilliant. Mother Cybella has the Revive and Death ability and a increased speed aura, which is sweet. And then Geomancer, he is the damage. I'm not sure how well this team will go with any other damage champion. I think it sort of really requires a Geomancer, or at least this team. But yeah, so I'll show you the team setup, then we'll get into the run, and then we'll go to the champion builds. So these are the teams here. Of course, you've got your Force and your Spirit, the Magic, and the Void. I haven't got Void up to stage 15 yet, so I'm not 100% how well that team will go, or if I can use that top team with it. As for the Magic IT there, Iron Twins, with Ultimate Death Knight, I have a feeling that this team will work on Force and Spirit Affinity. Maybe not Spirit, but it should. We'll see how it goes. And then that new Team 11 there that I haven't made, I thought I'd just show this because Stag Knight is a great replacement for Lady Kimmy, because obviously Lady Kimmy's a pretty hard to get champion. Got quite lucky with her. Now some of these teams, champions, can be crucial, but the idea is that we've got Mother Cybella, she's got her Revive on Death ability. Godseeker Neri has it on her passive in case something goes not so great. Geomancer for the damage. I have maybe a possible alternate, but we'll see. And then of course increased accuracy champion with maybe even decreased speed on their kit. That will just make builds a hell of a lot easier. And then a survivability champion, so someone who brings like a good solid shield. Brogny's the best option there. But I'll just quickly show you this here. So Mother Cybele, in reality, if you ran her on reflex gear and turned her A3 off, so that way her A2 can just go, she would be perfect. But unfortunately I don't have the reflex gear for that. I do, however, have reflex gear on Geomancer, so I've got his A2 turned off so he can just slap that A3 as much as he possibly can. Ultimate Death Knight with his shield and continuous heal, so he brings a lot of heals and a lot of damage mitigation with the shield. I haven't turned off his A2 because it does bring decreased attack, which can help with surviving. Lady Kimmy, she's just there for the increased accuracy. She also brings decreased speed, which is a benefit, but that's about it. And Godseeker Neri, her kit is just made for this boss. Absolutely perfect. She's got a healing passive, revive on death passive, she's got a revive ability, she's got extend buffs, and a pretty solid heal, and then another heal with her A1, so very, very solid champion. Try and avoid Relentless. I do have Relentless on Ultimate Death Knight, I think, and Mother Cybele. Ultimate Death Knight, Relentless is a bad idea, but I'm pretty sure he's the most tanky champion I've got, so he doesn't die till last. Well, he doesn't die because the team doesn't die yet, but he doesn't die, and he's always got the most HP is what I mean. So yeah, very, very solid there. But Mother Cybele, again, reflex here would be best for her. So yeah. So this is the team. We'll jump into the run, and I'll just talk over it real quickly. So, we've got Mother Cybele. She brings the Revive on Death and plus an increased defense, just for a little bit of damage mitigation. We've got Geomancer, he's there for the damage. I do have a sneaky suspicion that I have a rare champion in mind that could replace Geomancer, but I haven't got them built, and I don't really want to say the name in case it doesn't work and someone decides to try it and it's a waste of resources. So I'll build that champion eventually and try them out and see if they can actually work. We got Godseeker Neri. She has the heal, the revive ability, the revive on death passive, and extend buffs as well, which is pretty good. Lady Kimmy, she's got the increased accuracy, sort of a decreased speed. Not sort of, she does have decreased speed, and increased speed and whatnot. So she's easily replaceable. For Magic Affinity, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I can't think of any off the top of my head. But for other affinities, Stag Knight is absolutely amazing because he has the increased accuracy on his passive, and he's also got decreased speed on his A1. And then for Ultimate Death Knight, the one champion I don't have who's eluded me forever is Brogni. Replacing Ultimate Death Knight with a Brogni would be amazing. Massive, beautiful shield, reflect damage on the shields, even faster, more reliable kills. But for this, I'm using Ultimate Death Knight because I've got two shield champions that are decent. One's Ultimate Death Knight and one is Helicath. So I'm running Ultimate Death Knight. Of course, you can also use like a Sigmund the High Shield. You could even use a Miscreated Monster, but I'm just not too confident on his damage being reliable to bring off a big enough shield. And yeah, so this is the team. Revive and Death is the best cleanse you can get. Saves trying to build resistance, and then even if you do resistance, you have that 3% chance. And then you can just die, do a whole lot of damage with Geomancer's Reflect. Everybody comes back up. I don't think the team is 100% consistent. I haven't had that many runs that have actually had a fail yet. But you do have champions die and not get revived, such as Godseeker Neri right there. So I think that it's just a little bit sketchy at the moment. But with a Brogni, I don't think I would have any issue. But like I said, I haven't had a fail yet, so only time will tell. So that's the team. As you can see, there'll be pretty good heals, pretty good damage. Yeah, Godseeker Neri's damage, Ultimate Death Knight's heals, and Geomancer's damage is just mental. So I reckon it's pretty good. Yeah, I'll show you the builds, then we'll get into it. Not a bad time, not my best, but still a very good time, 2:30. So these are the champion builds I'll show you now. So Mother Cybele, or Cybella, whatever it may be. So she's in Relentless gear. I would highly suggest putting her in Reflex gear and turning off her A3. And then building her kind of squishy as well. But at the moment I've got 40k HP, 3400 defense, 239 speed, which is really solid. And then 100% crit, so nothing else there. Accuracy is far too low to worry about anything unless you're in the lower stages of Iron Twins, and so that's about it for her. Her masteries are nowhere near finished. Really need to pick up War Master, maybe an extra chance to extend, and extra chance for that decreased speed. So that's her there, masteries, and yeah. So her skills are pretty good. Obviously, you could also book out her A1 so you get more chance of the decreased speed. Then she becomes your decreased speed champion, as long as you put maybe another 100 accuracy onto her. So yeah, her gear was all pretty simple, but all very fast gear. So I just wanted her to really come around with that increased defense and revive on death ability. So that's her build. Again, reflex, turning off the A3 is perfect for her in a sort of semi-squishy build. As for Lady Kimmy, I've got her in a arena build with arena masteries. So nothing really to think about there. She's just fast with a bit of accuracy, and then she brings increased accuracy. So any other increased accuracy champion will replace her. I do have a couple increased accuracy champions, but none of them are booked out or properly built. That is there for a very niche reason. Then we also had Godseeker Neri, so she's just in a Clan Boss Mastery setup. Her skills, obviously she's got the Revive on Death passive on a 4-turn, and a Revive on a 4-turn. Big heal with the extension, and a small heal on her A1. So she's got the Refresh accessory, which would be great for her, so that way if someone does die without Revive on Death, she can bring them back up. And then she's got Lifesteal and Immortal to keep her health right at the top, including counterattack accessories. And then she can also pop off more heals with the A1, and then also more heals with her Lifesteal as well. She's a little bit slow. You would probably want Godseeker Neri as like the fastest champion, or near to the fastest. So that way she can just really cycle through her abilities. But you can't let her outrun the Revive on Death. That's the grey window there you got to try and fit in. So solid HP at 51k, 4000 defense, crit cap, 167 critical damage, so decent speed to get her a little bit of heals, and 194 speed. She doesn't need accuracy, and this team is not built for resistance because our cleanse is dying. So yeah, that's her gear pretty much. Just try to get a bit of damage out of her, so then she gets much heals, and of course an immortal set for also a heal as well. Then on top of her, after her, we had Geomancer. He is in a reflex set, but he's not built properly. So I had him built for a Hydra team, and then I tried to put more accuracy onto him because I was assuming, oh yeah, you might only need 400 plus accuracy for Iron Twins, and then I found out you need like 550 or something ridiculous. So I probably need to drop his accuracy back down to 350 and give him more speed and maybe some more defense, maybe even more HP. That would be ideal for him. Definitely more speed. He's way too slow. So yeah, so don't try and aim for that. If you bring in increased accuracy, which I highly recommend, so it makes builds a lot easier, then you can aim at a lower accuracy to really build up his stats more. I simply don't have the gear to run him at that 550 accuracy or even 500 with a increased accuracy or a champion. I simply don't have the gear, because if you could get rid of Lady Kimmy for another support champion or even a second Geomancer or even somebody like a Tomb Lord who can bring some poisons, then that would be awesome. But I don't have the gear for that, unfortunately. So this is his reflex gear. It's still pretty good gear for reflex. It's probably my best reflex gear on my account, bar maybe 2 pieces, which I swapped out for more accuracy. And then of course some perception gear as well. So his masteries here are a clan boss build, but also slightly more tinted towards Hydra, because I have got the cycle of magic, which I want to avoid on a traditional clan boss team, but definitely want for this boss or Hydra or pretty much any other area. So that's his build. Very solid. You're all out after his passive there, which has the chance to, which does deflect some of the damage and also has a chance of doing like a mini, not really mini, but like a Giant Slayer proc on top of his War Master procs when he attacks. So that's pretty cool. Then we had, who do we have? Ultimate Death Knight, that's the champion. So Ultimate Death Knight is solid. He can be relentless just because he's built like a tank. But again, if you're running like a Brogni or something like that, you don't want relentless. You'll maybe go even reflex, or you just go for a strong survivability build, or even like a toxic set, who knows. So his stats are just shy of 50k HP, 4200 defense, bit on the slow slide, but I got away with that because of the relentless gear. No critical rate. I could bump that up, bump the speed up, and take off the relentless, and he'll be sweet. High resist, but nowhere near high enough for this boss. Although Kimmy does bring a decreased accuracy, but that'll only work for a couple of affinities out there. As for his masteries, I've just gone to pick up some accuracy, pick up some shield increases, gone down to pick up War Master, and I've also grabbed Laura Steel. So that's his build. So that's the team. It's all a very solid team. None of these champions I built for this boss. All of these champions I just put in the team, and then I replaced 2 or 3 items for Geomancer, and then I found out about the accuracy and went, oh, that was a waste of effort. But other than that, not a single champion has been built for this boss, which makes it, a solid boss to actually just run through, especially if you've got the Revival and Death champions and whatnot. As for increased accuracy, the only other champions I've got is Rule the Huntmaster, who's a very squishy champion. And then, of course, I've also got, where is it? Here, Yoshi the Drunkard, but I use him in a Seer comp for Doom Tower Hard with the shield set, increased accuracy and whatnot. So neither of those champions I could replace out for Lady Kimmy, and they're both the legendaries anyway, so it's not really something I could go for there. Of course, if you had a Stag Knight, then that would be awesome, be perfect for this, but my Stag Knight has not been built because I brought him very late in the game. But anyway, so that's the team, and yeah. Let me know if you think of any other champions, or you want me to showcase some other champions in this. I have a theory on someone you could use to replace Geomancer. like I was saying before, but it is a rare champion, and if you want to try and see it, I might have the resources to build him out during Clan Voices Clan, maybe, but it's still not guaranteed if it'll work, so sort of a hard one to justify building if it doesn't work out, but if it does work out, it's sweet. That rare champion I think would be solid for the lower levels anyway. So yeah, we'll move on I suppose, eh? So just as a final recap, this here was my best run in Force Affinity, having Helicath in there. I do, however, now think that a Ultimate Death Knight would be a much better option. So Helicath was in there just because I thought his block damage would give me a few extra turns to build up my survivability again because of the block damage. But the problem with Helicath is that he doesn't bring any heals with his kit. And then, of course, when block damage is up, GMS's passive doesn't reflect much damage back. So, solid team. 249, not a bad time considering block damage was up. And then for Magic Affinity, this here was my best team, with, of course, Ultimate Death Knights. That way we're not having any block damage up. And he brings the heals as well, so he's got heals, so does Godseeker Neri, and then Geo for the damage. Like I've mentioned many times, Lady Kimmy could be easily replaced with like a Stag Knight or any other increased accuracy champion. And then you've got a very accessible team. You got 2 epics, Mother Cybella, who was a fusion, and then Ultimate Death Knight, who's currently a free champion, and then whoever you choose for your increased accuracy. If you don't have an increased accuracy champion, your builds will be a lot harder, and I would suggest running a accuracy aura and not Cybella in the lead, just so it makes it easy to get that build. So that's the team, and that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I haven't got to stage 15 yet for Spirit and Void. When I do, if you'd like me to make another video to show whether I can make one team for all with this setup, or if I have any fails, let you know. Basically, if you just want more of a recap on Iron Twins, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more stuff like this, you can subscribe. It'd be awesome if you could. That also, I don't do a lot of videos, so if you do, you'll get a notification of when I finally get around to it, build up my resources and whatnot. This might be a quiet week, except I might do an arena video. Probably won't do a clan boss video until this current fusion is over. But yeah, we'll see what happens, and I'll catch you later. Cheers.